Well, CBS 4 has learned a man involved in a shooting at an Upper Valley bar had been kicked out moments before it happened. Good evening, I'm Conchetta Callahan.
And I'm Shelton Dotson, CBS 4 530's Holly Bach live tonight at the crime scene. Tonight, she takes us through step by step exactly what police say happened. Holly?
Well, just last night, this parking lot looked completely different. It was filled with cop cars. Today, though, it looks like nothing really happened here. But just less than 24 hours ago, a fight broke out here at Flip's Bar in the Upper Valley. That led to 3 people being shot, and we now know the name of all of those involved.
I've always thought that this is like the safest place ever.
Westside Regional Command officers responded to a shots fired call just before 11 Sunday night at Flip's Bar, which is located on Country Club Road.
I saw the police cars out there. It was about 11 o'clock. Got up this morning and the police cars were still there.
This El Paso bar shooting leaves 1 man dead and 2 injured, according to police. The shooter is 29-year-old Jose Rojas Jr. The one victim who did not survive is 37-year-old Ruben Narciso Ramirez. And the other 2 victims who are now in stable condition are 30-year-old Brian Scott Melendez and 33 Emmanuel Calderon. Melendez is a manager at the bar, and police say he was escorting Rojas out, but then Ruben Ramirez started hitting Rojas, and that's when shots began to fire. Now, the parking lot was full of cars this evening, and one of the bar managers told me they plan to remain open with their normal hours. But neighbors say this isn't something they would expect in the area.
I've been living here for 4 months, and I never expect that we're going to have this kind of troubles, close to your house.
It's been pretty quiet the whole time I've been here, so there's never been any problems.
Especially to this extent.
The worst thing that happens around the neighborhood are like people taking dogs and, things like that, but nothing like killing somebody with a gun.
It's very strange for us.
Well, CBS 4 has learned that Rojas has been booked under 2 counts of aggravated assault. Reporting live here in the Upper Valley, Holly Bach, CBS 4 at 5:30.
Holly, thank you. Here's the other big story in the borderlands. Some major changes are coming to the El Paso, Las Cruces area in our weather department. Kira Miners in the 4 Weather Center to show us what conditions are headed our way. Kira?
That's right, Shelton. Today highs up in the low 60s, so near average for this time of year. And you can actually see on our New Deal Furniture WeatherNet that we are looking at some of those changes already taking place, and that's signaling some of those high clouds and mid and high level clouds moving in from the west and southwest. Currently 54 degrees with that south wind at 4 miles per hour. Relative humidity quite low at this point at 15%. But we're going to be talking about the potential for rain, snow, and also some very windy conditions heading throughout our Tuesday. But heading out this evening, no weather worries, especially on the roadways. We will see those mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the low 50s by 6 p.m., 47 degrees by 8 p.m., and by 10 o'clock back into those mid 40s. So coming up in my full forecast, I'll have the timing of when that rain and snow mixture is expected to move in, plus just how cold our Tuesday will be. Shelton?
All right, Kira, thank you. Remember, you can take our forecast along with you. Just download the CBS 4 app. You'll have access to our interactive radar, and you can also stay ahead of the storms every day of the week. You can download the CBS 4 app at the Apple Store or on Google Play.
Protests against the president's national emergency declaration for the border wall are being held around the country today. The president is facing legal challenges and congressional action. Republicans who oppose the emergency declaration point out there are other ways Congress could limit the president's spending, especially if he's pulling money from the military budget.
You can't spend $8 billion in the next 6 months. And so what I think you're going to see in the next appropriation cycle is restricting some of that funds.
Congressional Democrats are expected to bring up a resolution of disapproval against the president's emergency declaration. Administration officials say if it makes it to the president's desk, he'll veto it.
The land of enchantment has turned to the land of litigation. The state of New Mexico is now suing the president for declaring a national emergency in order to build a border wall. The governor and the attorney general of New Mexico say the president's declaration of a national emergency is inappropriate and overreaching. In fact, the attorney general, Hector Balderas, went a step further. He's quoted as saying he's appalled that the president would manufacture an emergency. El Paso County, the state of California, the ACLU, and others also expected to file lawsuits.
CBS 4 is getting a closer look at the damage left behind by vandals at the National Border Patrol Museum. As we reported, it happened after protesters forced their way inside. CBS 4 at 5:30's Ryan Hill joins us now live from Northeast El Paso. Ryan?
110 stickers were placed all throughout the Border Patrol Museum here in Northeast El Paso, including a hall dedicated to fallen Border Patrol agents. The director says that about 50 protesters came into the museum at around 2:30 on Saturday afternoon and were told by staff to leave. He also says that the protesters began to slap the stickers depicting images of unaccompanied minors who died in Border Patrol custody and different phrases on these exhibits. And they were also ripped one of the seats of the ATVs that's inside the museum. You can see these stickers have pictures of those two children who died in Border Patrol custody. He says that most of the most troubling places that these stickers were placed were inside that memorial hall. He wonders why people would deface an area dedicated to those killed in the line of duty.
We've had groups in here from the Catholic Diocese, the Annunciation House, Southwest
Ham tells me that military police will be investigating this incident to figure out what type of charges can be filed. He also tells me that they will bring out an insurance adjuster to assess the damage to see how much it would cost to professionally remove the stickers from the exhibits and potentially replace the plexiglass itself. Reporting live here in Northeast El Paso, Ryan Hill, CBS 4 at 5:30.
A former New Mexico State University football player remains in jail tonight on two very serious charges. Police arrested 22-year-old Malik Demby late Saturday night. He's accused of both false imprisonment and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Investigators have not yet released any details in the case. Demby left the team in the middle of last season. He is being held tonight without bond.
An El Paso man is accused of hitting a Horizon City police officer with his car after a traffic stop. It happened on Jewel Desert Drive Sunday night near Horizon Middle School. Officers had cornered the driver after trying to pull him over. His name is Sergio Gonzalez. Officers say that he was going 80 in a 35. When they approached his car, he allegedly drove in their direction, hitting one of them in the leg and also hitting a patrol unit. Gonzalez was eventually caught and taken into custody.
Arson investigators have announced the arrest of a juvenile who they say torched a homeless shelter in Segundo Barrio. The fire happened on Valentine's Day at Dame La Mano on South Virginia Street. Investigators questioned two kids found at the scene just minutes after the fire started. They ended up detaining one of those kids. Tonight, he's been charged with arson, which is a second-degree felony. The fire damage estimated at $5,500.
CBS 4 has learned a man hit in central El Paso earlier this month was run over multiple times. It happened on Montana Avenue near Hawkins and McRae. Investigators say 72-year-old Alberto Escoto was crossing Montana. He was not using a crosswalk. Police say that's when he was hit by a car. Investigators say he was run over several more times, but only the first two drivers stopped. And anyone with information on the other drivers is asked to call El Paso police.
Straight ahead, the legacy lives on. The sailor pictured in this photo dies at the age of 95. What he says the nurse pictured along with him symbolized.
A heroic act, the superhero move one man used to save another man's life.
And the circle of life, a hawk swooping in to attack a small dog. How that dog was able to break free is something you have to see. It's next on CBS 4 at 5:30 on your side.
So,